Hey folks, Sheila here from Design Files. In today's video, I'm going to show you how you can fully furnish your 3D floor plans. So if you have in fact created your floor plan, you've drawn out all the walls, you've added in the windows and doors, and you're ready to now start adding in furniture and decor, then keep watching and I'll show you how to do that step by step. Now, one key thing that I do want to bring to your attention, if you have been using the Design Files product clipper to save product images from vendor sites directly to your Design Files account so that you can use these in your mood board designs, just be aware that any of the clipped items cannot be used within the 3D floor planner. And the reason for that is that these are just flat JPEG images. So anything that is added to the 3D floor planner has to be built out as a 3D model so that we can show it all to scale and so that we can show it from every angle. So basically, when you come into the 3D floor planner, below the walls and rooms in the structural section, you're going to see that there is a product library. And I'm just going to clear this selection out here. So you'll see loads of products in here. There's over 70,000 plus 3D models that you can browse through, and you can just search for a specific product type. So if I wanted to look for a lounge chair, then I would type in lounge chair into the keyword search and hit enter. And then you're going to see all these options show up. And for any of the options that show here, if you find one that you like, then what you can do is you can click on it and then move your mouse over to the actual floor plan and then click to release it. And the item will then show up in the floor plan, just like this. Now, you can actually rotate the item around by using the ring option here. So you just click and hold down with the left button on your mouse, and you can just move along the ring and it'll rotate the item. You'll also see that you have, let's just rotate this around a little bit further here. You're also going to see that you've got these arrows here. So if you wanted to move the product, you can use the arrows to slide it left and right, front and back. And if you also click anywhere within the actual circle here, you can just freely move this item throughout the floor plan. The other option that you have here, and this would be more so for, placing something high up on the wall or placing pillows or a light fixture, but you've got these up and down arrows right here that will allow you to raise the item up off the floor and bring it down. Now, let's talk a little bit about how you can customize these items. So if we click on this sectional here, let's say that this sectional very closely matches the sectional that you're recommending for your client space, but you need to adjust the dimensions of it to make sure it's the same dimensions as the actual product. So no problem at all there. What you want to do is you want to click on the actual sectional. Over here in the right side panel, you're going to see that it's going to update to show all the properties for this sectional. So here you can see that you can actually change the dimensions of this product. So if you need to, you can make it match the actual dimensions for the real product that you're recommending for your client space. You also have a color tint tool here as well. So if you want, you could click into this field here and then you can shift your color wheel here. And then you can start to colorize the product to closely match what you are recommending for your client space. And if you ever want to reset that and go back to the original, you've got your reset button right here. Now, a couple other things that I'm going to bring to your attention here. So let's go ahead and we're going to look for a pillow. Okay, so I'm just searching for a pillow here. I'm going to click on this one right here. And when I bring it out to the floor plan, you're going to see this blue ring. Now, basically, it's recognizing the surfaces. So if I move over here to the sofa, you're going to see that it recognizes the sofa edge and it recognizes the sofa seat. And if I click here, it's going to place the pillow down on the actual sofa seat. So that comes in really handy if you are, let's just zoom in here. If you're trying to place items within the shelves, just to add in some decor elements, you can actually place it directly on the shelf. The system will recognize that surface and make it easy for you to place it. Now, the other thing that I wanted to bring to your attention here is when you're placing your pillows on the actual sofa, this would be a case where I would use the up-down arrow and I might sink this pillow a little bit into the sofa so it looks like it's more realistically sitting on the actual sofa seat. And you'll also see here you've got a tilt tool. So if you feel like this particular pillow is looking a little too rigid and upright, you can tilt it forward and backwards. So you'll see you've got this option right here. And you can basically just either use the slider or you can use the arrows here to tilt it a little bit forward or tilt it backwards. And then you also have the ability to use these arrows here to slide it back into place or move it wherever it is that you want within this particular sectional. Now I'm just going to go ahead and delete that. Other things that you have available to you, let's click on this ottoman here. So over here, you're going to see that when I click on this ottoman, I do have the option to duplicate it. So if I click duplicate and then I move my mouse, you'll see another ring is going to be visible, and I click, and then you'll see that the duplicated ottoman will be placed, and then I can move it wherever I want within this design. You can always delete items as well by using the trash can icon here, and you can flip items from side to side if you use these left and right arrows. Another thing that you have available is the ability to group items so you can move them all at once. So if I select this ottoman and I hold down Shift on my keyboard, if I'm on a Mac, I would hold down the Command key, and then I click on the next item that I want to group together. I can group these so that I can move them all at once. And that way it'll save me time if I wanted to group all my pillows together along with the sectional, because I want to change the whole layout and I don't have to move things individually one at a time. And then here you have the ability to ungroup those items again if you just want to move the individual ones. Now, another thing that I would bring to your attention here has to do with placing items within the floor plan mode versus the 3D mode. So let's move back over to the floor plan mode. I should mention that whenever you're placing items, you can place them in the 3D mode if you want. If you find it's easier to place items while in the floor plan mode because you can see things kind of top down, you can see exactly where it's going to be placed within the space, then you can always jump back and forth and you can place things. Let's just grab another here. We'll duplicate this. I'll remove this chair right here, and then we're going to take this one and we're going to duplicate it. So if I felt like it was just easier for me to line this item up in the floor plan mode so I can see very clearly the exact spacing between these two, and I can line up the back edge with the back edge of this chair, then you feel free to do that. It's completely up to you. It's totally based on personal preference. You can place things in 3D or you can place them in floor plan. The other thing that I wanted to bring to your attention whenever you are moving items around within your floor plan. So let's just shift this one out a little bit. If I wanted to get a sense for the distance between the edge of this storage unit to the edge of the sofa here, there's a couple of ways that I could do this. There is a measurement tool right up here. So I could click on that, and then I could click on the edge of the chair, move my mouse out, and click on the edge of the storage unit here, and I can see that that's 24 inches apart. If I feel good about that, then whatever, I can just go ahead and close this out and I can remove that measurement. Another thing that I can do here is with the labels and line tool, if I wanted to have that remain within my floor plan so that I can keep that measurement visible, I can use this option here to draw a line. And basically you can choose the style of your line if you want. So let's go ahead and we'll just pick a specific start and end style. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw my line again. So we'll just take it right out here and we're going to place it right against this edge. If I wanted to show that measurement, you'll see down here that there's an option to check this box to add the measurement as a label. And then you'll see that it's going to show. Now, if I move this, and then I come back to this line, I can now drag this line out so I can see the distance between the two. So if I wanted to make this 2'6", I could just get that line ready, and then I can bring this back and I can line it up. So that's something that you can keep in mind if you're looking for very accurate placements for your items between, so that you can calculate the distance between certain items. Now I'm just going to go ahead and select this and delete it, and I'm just going to bring this one right back here. The last thing that I did want to bring to your attention when you are moving items around, actually there's two more things that I'll cover just because we might as well talk about it all. So let's rotate this design around, and I'm going to zoom out here a little bit so that we can get a good look at these walls here. Let's go ahead and we're going to place some artwork on the wall. So it doesn't really matter what it is, we'll just take anything here. So I'm going to take this piece right here. I'm going to click on it. And when I bring it over to the walls, you're going to see that the system is going to recognize the surface of the wall. So if I start rotating over this way, it will place it on the wall facing into the room here. If I go over here, it's just going to find the edge of the wall so that I can place this art piece. Now, this is another piece that it's not very big, you know, it's only 12 inches by 12 inches. If I wanted to increase this to give my client an idea of what a large art piece is going to look like on this wall, then we could bump this up to 36 and bump this up to 36. And now we've got a nice large art piece that I can slide up and down. And if I wanted to shift it over to the right or to the left, what I would actually do is just rotate my design. And again, I'm just holding down the left button on my mouse when I do that and use these arrows. And I'll be able to slide it over. Just like that. Okay. The last thing that I wanted to bring to your attention was, it's just something simple, but if it's something that you want to address within your floor plans, then this will come in handy. So you can see over here that I have a dining table and I've placed some chairs around the dining table. Now you'll notice that when you're placing your chairs in the floor plan mode, they look as if they're sitting on top of the dining table. If I go into the perspective mode and I slide over here, I can see that the chairs are actually sitting underneath. But if you want it to look like they're sitting underneath in the floor plan mode, here's how you would do that. Just click on the chairs. These two are actually grouped together and you'll see that you've got these layering tools here. So I'm going to push these to the bottom and I'll do the same thing with this set, which is also these two are grouped together, and push them down. And then that will give you a more realistic look for how the chairs should be placed within the floor plan mode. You might also find that you want to do certain things like this for pillows on the sofa. So again, you can see that there are certain pillows that are showing on my sofa and certain ones that aren't. If I go into the 3D perspective mode, you'll see I have pillows here and here. If I want these to also show within my floor plan mode, I'm just going to select this grouping of pillows and I'll move them to the top. I'll do it with this as well, move them to the top, and in the floor plan mode, they'll now be visible. So if you ever are looking at your floor plan and you're like, where do those pillows go? Just go ahead and make sure that you push them up to the top. I think that about covers it. So if you have any questions about how to place items within your floor plan, how to move items around, change the size, change the color, group items, any questions at all, feel free to reach out to us on the live chat. We're always happy to help.